Y'all, we're making a barbecue brunch out of leftovers. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find, test, and sometimes create the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling something that I'm calling the low carb barbecue brunch. Stay tuned. All right, guys, low carb barbecue brunch. And I said it was out of leftovers, but there's a caveat to that. I'm assuming that many of you, at least in the United States, are going to be celebrating the 4th of July soon. And with that comes a lot of outdoor cooking. And a lot of the times at the end of that, we have some things left over, like some pulled pork or some barbecued brisket and things that we kind of munch on for the next few days after the holiday. And I'm going to give you an idea that I love for barbecue brunch. It's using that leftover pork or beef or whatever it is that's sort of separated meat, a shredded pork or a pulled brisket, and using that as a topping for a hoe cake, a johnny cake, a cornbread cake, and all kinds of toppings, and you'll see what we're going to talk about now. I was served it once at a restaurant in New Orleans, and I've thought about it ever since, and I've attempted it a few times without making it low carb, but we're doing a low carb version of that today. So join me for that now, but before we begin, I need to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Made In. Made In manufactures professional quality cookware for the home cook. Now, you know I've shown you some of their products in other videos, their nonstick skillet, their stainless steel skillet. I love their knives. A lot of their products are top quality. And when I say top quality, there are 3 Michelin star restaurants that exclusively use Made In cookware, like New York City's Le Bernardin, Chicago's Alinea. Over 2,000 top restaurant and hotel groups rely on Made In cookware in their kitchens, and that quality is easy to use in your home kitchen as well. Now, we're going to be featuring their griddle, their large carbon steel griddle. This thing is amazing, and it's become a very versatile workhorse in my kitchen. It's great because it goes from the grill to an open flame. You can put it on, like we're going to do here today, inside, on a gas cooktop, a glass cooktop, electric, which I have, or even induction. It works on all of these. And this thing is large and in charge, but it lets me or you create a large meal like this where there's multiple components, right? You've got the pancake or the hoe cake, the meat, you've got some eggs, multiple components, and you can just do it all in one pan, or just cooking for a large group, or getting a super high sear. This thing, the carbon steel griddle, goes up to 1,200 degrees. The beautiful stainless steel press made of high performance stainless steel with the leather handle so it doesn't get hot, super, very nice, heavy. This goes up to 800 degrees. So it holds up to 40 ounces of liquid too, because it has the sloped sides on the edge, very edge of the griddle, to hold your grease or whatever you got going on in there. So Made In, I really appreciate that you've given me these products and allowed me to test them and bring them to my audience. It has quickly become one of my favorite cookware companies. So thank you for sponsoring this video. Guys, if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the video description below. There'll be a link there that you can use to get a small discount if you want to also try out this. If you'll check my other videos, the comments are filled with people who are like, yep, I use Made In's nonstick all the time. I use Made In stainless steel. So a lot of you already know about this company and are loving it as much as I am. So, all right, let's get started on this recipe. Okay, so the parts of this recipe are the johnny cake. I don't know what you call it, the hoe cake. My family called it a hoe cake. It was a cornbread. You'd make cornbread batter. Instead of breaking it in a large skillet like a cake, you'd make small pancakes out of it. Hoe cakes, johnny cakes, cornbread pancake, whatever you're going to call it. We're going to use the recipe. You can use your favorite recipe. I'm going to use the one from, it's my blueberry pancake recipe from Ketogenic Diet on a Budget. If you haven't checked out this book, I'll leave a link somewhere over here. We're obviously omitting the sweet things like the sweetener and the syrup and the blueberries, but we're going to add in some savory things like bacon fat and some cornbread flavoring. That's optional, but does kind of kick it up a little bit. The bacon fat will do wonders for making this taste like more like cornbread. So I'm going to give you a modified version of that recipe. This only makes a couple of pancakes, probably 3 if you make them kind of small, easy to do for brunch. So this starts with almond flour. Again, you could, if you have a favorite pancake recipe, by all means use that, but this is what I'm using today. So it starts with 2/3 a cup of almond flour, and I am going to sift all this stuff because we just want to make sure there are no lumps in there. This is also a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. So in that goes, and let's just quickly sift this out to make sure we have no lumps. Now I use the 1-on-1 flavors. I'll leave a link to this down below. They make a cornbread flavoring that is quite good and not nearly as unaffordable as some of the other older flavorings we were using several years ago. Like the sweet corn flavoring I've used in several recipes. This is the 1-on-1 cornbread. We're going to put 10 drops of this, and I'm going to add it to my milk over here. This is almond milk. This is 3 tablespoons of almond milk. So just so that we know it gets mixed up, I'm going to add 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't take much. This is powerful stuff, but it really gives an odor and flavor of cornbread. It smells just like cornbread. So we're going to add in 1 egg. That goes in. Get out of the way. Our 3 tablespoons of almond milk with the 10 drops of cornbread flavoring. And here you're going to use either 2 tablespoons of melted salted butter, or if you have it, I did some bacon earlier on the griddle to get it ready, and 2 tablespoons of this really does a fantastic job of making this taste a lot like savory cornbread. And the almond, if you're not allergic to almonds, the almond texture sort of also makes this feel like a cornmeal based recipe. So let's just get this mixed up, and then we'll move everything over to the griddle where we'll be ready to go. Mix that well and let it just stand. We'll let that baking powder get a chance to work, so we'll wait on that. Now, the barbecue, again, you're going to use probably leftover, right? Well, I have a tip. Obviously, it's not the 4th of July yet because I'm filming before then, so I don't have any leftover pulled pork. But what I did find and do use a lot in my kitchen is you can find a store brand. Usually there are some name brands of just pulled pork or carnitas or barbacoa. And if you look at the ingredients, they're really pretty clean. This is the one that, this is the carnitas slow pulled pork. It is 4.5 grams of fat, 0 carbs. It's just water, salt, and it does have some orange juice concentrate, but it's just such a small amount. It doesn't even register in the carb count. And this is pretty good, pretty fatty. If you don't have any leftover barbecue, or you just want an easy way to do this, this is a great way to do it. Or if you have a barbecue restaurant or a Mexican restaurant near you that has carnitas, just get a little bit of that. So we're going to put this on the grill along with an egg and our hoe cakes. I'm going to show you how we make all of this. So let me move over real quick to our griddle. Okay, so our griddle is preheating now on medium heat, and I haven't even cleaned it off after I cooked some bacon on this because it's some of that like burnt, crusty, meaty flavor that makes this such a delicious dish. So I'm just spreading a little bacon fat on there, and we want to get our meat on the griddle here, and I'm going to put it on this side over here. Hear that going? I'm not going to use all of this because it doesn't take much to make 1 serving, and I'm just going to I'll make a couple of these just to show you how I normally do this. If you feel like that needs a little fat on it, put a little bacon fat there. And then the nice thing is that you can just put this grill press on there just so that it sort of presses down some of those edges and gets it a little nice and crispy in there. Now over here we want to make sure we've got plenty of fat on our place where we're going to cook our hoe cakes. And so this, we're going to take some of our batter and we're just going to pour, I'm going to make 2 of these right on here. And it doesn't need to be too hot, but you want a nice thin pancake. So this recipe will make about 2 of these, perfect for a couple's brunch. Just multiply the recipe out if you're going to be making for more than 2 people. And we're just going to let this cook for a moment. This needs to cook over here for about 3 minutes per side, and then we're going to flip it over. Just flip it once. Don't flip it multiple times if you want it to remain fluffy. And I'm just going to come over here and start breaking up some of this meat. And then, so this is all it's going to take. We're also going to add some, when we're plating this, we're going to add some barbecue sauce, your favorite low-carb barbecue sauce, as well as some sour cream, a little bit of red cabbage, and some green onions, and an over easy egg, which we're going to do on the griddle as well. So I'm just going to let this cook. We'll speed it up so you don't have to watch all of this, and I'll meet you right back here in just a bit. All right, so we're back and ready to assemble this thing. As you saw, it all came out beautifully. This is our hoecake, our Johnny cake, with our pulled pork that we've heated up and crisped up right on top. To this, I'm going to add a little bit of, use your favorite sugar-free barbecue sauce. Right now, what I have on hand is Ray's, so that's what I'm going to use, Sweet Baby Ray's, sugar-free. So I'm going to add a little bit of that, not much. You do not want to overwhelm this. You just want to make it known that you're making barbecue, right? Now, obviously, you could use a chimichurri, a salsa, if you wanted to make this a little different style. And then a little bit of shredded purple cabbage gives a nice color and texture, and some vegetable to the dish. That looks really good. And a little bit of green onion. I'm trying to make this look good so I can get a nice thumbnail shot of it. And then take a little sour cream and drizzle this on. Hopefully this comes out of this bottle. I put it in a squeeze bottle so that we could get a nice, yeah. And then take your egg, preferably a sunny side up egg if you like them like that. I want to try to get it off the plate without breaking the yolk. And put this on so that you know, this is where it's hard to make things look pretty. Oh my gosh, yes. Move it over a little bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to add a few more green onions here. A little bit more barbecue sauce, not much, just a drizzle for the picture. And do a little bit more sour cream. All right, I got to get a photo of this before I can even taste this, because that, you guys, look at that. That looks beautiful. Okay, what does this taste like? Let me get a knife. I know what it tastes like because I've had it. All right, so you obviously want to break this yolk and let all this yolky yummy yum run down like that, and get you some of the hoe cake along with, this is going to be a big messy bite. Get some of all of it. Easier said than done. Oh my gosh. Okay. So good. So easy. You know you're going to have some leftover grilled meat. If you don't, try some of that pre-made. It's fairly inexpensive from the grocery store. No. I'll see you later. All right, guys. There you have it. It's probably all over me. Low carb barbecue brunch. Whatever you want to call it, make this. Use your favorite pancake recipe. Find you some great meat. Find you some sauces. Create it all. Stack it. Serve it. And make everybody happy. All right. I say this every time these videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating. And looking at the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey. I'm going to ask you if you would please like this video, hit the thumbs up below. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that this is a video that you liked and other people with similar interests might also enjoy. If you are not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and the bell button down below. It'll let you know just as soon as I release a new video. Also find me over on Facebook and Instagram. It's just Highfalutin Low Carb in both of those places. Lastly, I also need to thank Made In again for sponsoring this. Made In, thank you so much for providing these tools for me to use. I've really enjoyed them in my kitchen and I can't wait to keep cooking on them for years to come. If you want to check them out, be sure to use the link in the video description below for a discount on your first order. Lastly, I need to thank my rock stars, my Patreon members. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube. You can give $1 or $2 a month just to keep the train on the tracks. You're going to see all their names start to scroll over here. So if you'd like to see your name added to this list of my rock stars, be sure to check me out on patreon.com. All right, guys, I love you very much. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, today is a good day to have a good day.